a couple times, I think, in the previous weeks. I know we've covered both their matches at various points. Both are fairly, I think, solid players. I really like how Ruleth plays. I think he's got a good mental approach to the game. Um, so we'll see. If I were to lean one way or the other, I mean, hey, I could be wrong, but I have a feeling Ruleth is going to show us some good stuff today. deathr0w's got to keep his mind sharp for this game because I really like the approach Ruleth takes in terms of just positioning, and I think his rocket play is pretty darn good. So deathr0w's got to make sure he's mentally prepared and doesn't do anything too silly. Don't force engagements that are bad for you.
So Ruleth is the favorite for you. Is he going to take a 2-0 or 2-1 in your eyes?
Oh, deathr0w, it could definitely go 2-1. I don't think it'll be a lopsided by any means. I could see deathr0w winning the match certainly if Ruleth isn't on top of his game. So I just been watching Ruleth a little bit lately, and I like how he's playing.
All right, well, we should be getting started right now as we're going to be jumping into the first round of combat. I believe we're going to be having, I think it's Ruleth starting off on the clutch. I'll just double check that when we do jump in, if he's going to spawn with that or if he'll switch it up a little bit. And yeah, Ruleth goes right for the clutch at spawn here. So a lot of players choosing that one. A lot of players loving this champion, loving to play on it here, as it does offer a pretty diverse toolkit to try and play with. Right at the start, though, deathr0w is also going to go for the Sorleg spawn. Nice dodge. Gets himself right out of the way of what could have been a pretty nasty rail, and also connects a pretty okay amount of LG damage. Doesn't do much into the health pool, but it does reduce that armor pool quite a bit. And Ruleth already forced to use his shield. He's going to leap forward. He's got to be careful when his opponent has the LG. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. He's letting sneak through. In fact, he's down at 25 HP, trying to somehow turn this fight around. He's close, and the quick switch to the Rogun while only at 12 HP saves his life and allows him to take down deathr0w, claiming him the first kill, but he's got to recover health quickly as deathr0w has already spawned back on the Nyx and is looking to trade that frag out.
Yeah, that was clutch by Ruleth. A little desperation rail switch at the end there, and he was able to get the kill. He's still not in great shape, though, as you mentioned. He's got to get some health quickly.
Oof, tagging onto his opponent with the rail, hoping that forces a little bit more passiveness, and Ruleth popping the shield just to be safe. Now he leaps forward, trying to go for this mega health spawn, but the Nyx is also in that room. However, the Nyx isn't fully aware of where exactly he's at just yet, and Ruleth taking a big risk, jumping up, and in fact, almost killing himself right there. That could have been bad. Gets the mega health. He's still not safe, though. He's still only back up to about 40 HP here as he tries to make the run back, baits his opponent in crossing, but oh no, Ruleth did fall down. I'm not sure if that was on purpose or not. Just get one of those little mini health pickups. I think he was trying to go for the one up top, but tagged again by the rail. So now down once more at 45 HP. Full armor is up, but Ruleth does not want to go for it. He's sticking around here, focusing on that mega health since that's about to come up again in 5 seconds. And now leaping out, he's got the shield once again available, and that tag on the rail finally does enough damage to equalize this fight, bringing deathr0w down relatively low and allowing Ruleth to really finally restore most of his active HP.
Yeah, like Ruleth was in a bad spot again mentally, just keeping his head in the game. deathr0w wasn't making it easy on him. He had some nice rails to try to keep him low there, but Ruleth just stayed slick and kept grabbing those small armors, those light armors, the health, and just slowly build yourself back up. Now here he is, he's stacked again, and he's going against the Nyx. So if this Nyx ends up in a close quarter combat situation, she's toast.
Yeah. Looks like the Nyx ended up with a pretty good opener there. Again, jumping out of the portal and quickly getting a rail connection at home. Ruleth just missing an opportunity to connect one himself here as he jumps back in, but all of a sudden he's into the fight anyways. deathr0w wants to commit to it, blocking a lot of damage with that shield, trying to go over to the rails again. This time not going to work out as well. And Ruleth holds his own little corner back here outside of the teleport exit. Keep himself alive, keep himself well, but deathr0w is not done with this fight just yet. May want to continue it now that he's got himself to pick up onto the armor. Seems like for now has backed down, and Ruleth more specifically just continues to dodge the engagement, and all of a sudden he's having a lot of trouble with his rails, whiffing a lot of them all of a sudden, where deathr0w seems to be consistently connecting them. So that's proving to be a pretty big issue here too.
Yeah, I mean, with clutch, I mean, you can really spend a lot of times on those light armors. It takes 4 of them to fill you back up, not to mention your 150 health. With all the health you got to. So I mean, you can spend a lot of time just grabbing the basic items just to get yourself to your normal stack. So it's important that deathr0w just kind of keeps pressure on him. You can't let a clutch get, once you stack and he has his shield up, you got to look out.
Yep, Ruleth fixing it now, and there's another tag. Pretty much just deletes all of the mega health pickup that deathr0w got himself. He's trying to look for another one, but all right, into the fight. They're just going to fight in the LG room, actually, and Ruleth has his shield up, but deathr0w also has the stealth ready to go, so he backs away from that one. And again, neither one is going to take success in that fight. They do have to pretty much give it up, but hold on now. Ruleth got himself into trouble, went right into a rocket, and now he's only at 40 HP. deathr0w is trying to find the position to finish it off, but Ruleth hides behind that pillar. actually managed to trick deathr0w into thinking he went away. So
Yeah, nice fake by Ruleth, you know. And then he just kind of waited where he heard deathr0w go, and he went the opposite direction and grabbed the heavy armor. Just good mental play to get out of trouble.
Well, for Ruleth here, less than a minute left. If he can survive that long, then he'll win the round by default here, but he's going to jump into combat again, forcing deathr0w back and allowing for another fight reset here. He just jumped through just to pick up a little bit of extra rail ammo. For deathr0w, well, they are going to find themselves in combat there, and Ruleth gets pushed downstairs. This is a great opportunity. deathr0w has himself the extra health to play off. He has the high ground, but look at that. The shot from Ruleth connecting beautifully, almost getting him the complete kill there. deathr0w does survive with just under his normal health pool there. And Ruleth with this armor pickup is going to get deathr0w to walk into the room and pretty much delete himself, as unfortunately deathr0w just walks right into a free kill for Ruleth. And now he's claimed the second one. There's only 10 seconds left, so it's pretty much impossible for deathr0w to turn this one around now. Ruleth should be able to take the first round via the timer in 3 seconds.
Yeah, that increased stack was really causing him problems. I mean, he landed a lot of shots, right? But he just hit the clutch once he got him, you know, stacked up. It's just so strong. You know, it takes a lot of rails, and you think you're whittling him, you know, you're whittling him down. You're doing a little damage, but you know, he keeps picking up the light armors and the health, and you know, 150, 200, 150, 100 base stack is really good. I mean, so if you're running around just with that, I mean, the Nyx fully stacked is less. So as long as you don't get into a bad engagement, I mean, you should take her out.
And speaking of interesting engagements here now, Ruleth popping the shield does avoid a whole lot of damage, but it's converted at the last moment by deathr0w as he somehow survives that fight from the low ground, wins it out, and now he gets the first kill in round 2.
Yeah, I think Ruleth thought that last rocket would for sure get the kill, and he dropped down, and he was wrong, and you know, deathr0w landed shots of his own and got the first frag. So let's see how he rides with this momentum that he has right now. It's a good start for him.
And well, he's going to ride that with some direct rocket shots, both of them just going right at each other. But no, Ruleth will get the better of it this time. Sneaks down below to the main gate and is able to convert that kill back, bringing things to a 2v2 very quickly here, as these guys continue to just brawl right in each other's faces here on this round.
So much for the momentum.
Yeah, that got stopped pretty quickly.
Yeah, a couple of rockets will do that to you.
Both of them wrecked each other with rockets there, unfortunately, so that came down to whoever hit that one final rocket pretty much would have won that one. And like I said, Ruleth got a little bit more creative, didn't go directly back in through the rail bridge. Actually decided to take the path downstairs instead of sneaking it off. And speaking of sneaking things off, deathr0w is going to get tagged down a little bit as he's hit by another rail. Ruleth kind of agreed looking for another one. Thankfully, he's got a small armor pickup down below in the shotgun room. Still doesn't want to continue the fight. Still okay with kind of backing out since the mega health pickup is coming up in a second. Same for deathr0w though on the other side with the armor pickup. He's going to get that, and they'll continue to trade them out, keeping them on relatively similar spawn times for the current portion of this round. But Ruleth loses track of deathr0w there, so takes quite a bit of damage on the LG, trying to retreat from that fight.
Yeah, deathr0w tried to come in with the ghost walk ambush. Didn't get I'm sure he didn't get as much out of it as he wanted. Good recognition by Ruleth. He knows the items. Yes, it's good. deathr0w's going to try to delay. He's sick of this. He didn't delay enough, though. That's not going to be quite enough.
Yeah, Ruleth here. Oh, nicely done. Oh, and another rocket as well. That one hits for a lot less, though. Only about a 15 on the second one, whereas the first one was a direct hit. So it did a full 100. So Ruleth looking good right now. Just needs to lock down deathr0w and hit some of those last shots. It seems like he's kind of lost deathr0w, though. Doesn't know exactly where he went. Can pretty safely assume that he's going to be over there by the armor pickup, and that's why he's spamming his rockets right now.
Well, he should have heard him below when he was grabbing the hourglasses, and deathr0w picked up the light armor right below him. He should have heard that pickup and made an assumption that he was going to heavy armor. So I would hope he read that at the very least.
And well, now Ruleth unfortunately is going to have to eat another rail shot from deathr0w there, as they do push into it with no successful winner coming out on top of that duel. Ruleth now finally has a good opportunity, but again, oh, actually, no, he switches over really quickly, gets that nice rail shot, and deathr0w forced into stealth, which will allow for Ruleth to go over here and get himself the armor pickup. Obviously, you saw that there, deathr0w stole the mega health, so they switched the spawns a little bit. There's about still only a 6-second split on timers, though, so it's really not a huge gap. And Ruleth continues to look for an opportunity to engage against deathr0w here, but deathr0w is never giving it to him as he avoids the fight as well. Maybe going to go for it now.
Here.
Yep, the stealth pop, and Ruleth did throw out the orb, but he didn't take the port. Now he's stuck in the pits, returns a rail shot. He's one-shottable on his opponent and almost reads into it with the rocket. So close here, but no! The last-second clutch jump pad from deathr0w gets him away from Ruleth's rockets and allows for him to get the second kill.
A good ghost lock engage. He's got to be careful here. You didn't have. Oh, there you go. Good recovery.
Almost got the second. Yeah, almost got the third kill right there. That rail. Thought Ruleth is less than real quick, and was also going to force him to pop his stealth when deathr0w goes up the jump pad. Ruleth knows he can't take that, even though his opponent is relatively susceptible at that point in time.
Ruleth just needs to try to get any bit of stack he can, and he's going to have to make an all or nothing engage pretty soon.
It's a good thing deathr0w did get that mega health pickup. Saves his life a little bit here for this upcoming fight, where he is going to be able to go in, complete the conversion, and allow for himself to claim round number 2, going against up at 1-1.
Yeah, good turnaround for deathr0w to get some momentum on his side, get that win. So now we're going to round 3. Good ghost lock engage up by the past the pillar area to to get Ruleth low, and Ruleth, he threw the dire orb. I was surprised he didn't take it to get out of that situation, but I'm sure he'd like to have that back, but he didn't, and deathr0w got the finish and got the win.
So into round 3 here now. No one with the straight up advantage yet, but deathr0w, okay, just whittling away the health pool on the clutch here right at the start. Just tries to get a bit aggressive on the sword leg. Nicely done. Has the clutch locked down. Has a huge health advantage here too. Just has to easily finish off the clutch, and that's going to be a nice first kill, but no! The shield up, chooses to back out of the fight. Ruleth only had about 75 HP remaining there, which is chump change considering the overall health pools for these champions. And now jumping back into the fight is once again just going to whittle away at range. It's actually a lot of damage here. I'm not sure if Ruleth realizes how much damage it's doing. Well, he's going to have to now as that rocket almost takes him down. Look at that on Ruleth. Just a tiny little sliver of health remains as he has to get the heck out of here, bail from this fight, and reset for another day.
Very fortunate he didn't get fragged there. I mean, you can't do that with the clutch. I mean, it's easy to get caught up into, I'm trying to get this rail shot off, and I'm peeking, but I mean, he's just so big. That machine gun is not going to miss you. You're eating everything, so you really got to keep an eye on your stack and take your shot and get out of there. If they're whittling you down with hit scan, I mean, you don't want to be there as a clutch.
No, you do not.
You want to force the rocket engagement if you can.
deathr0w does walk himself into a rail, though, so all of a sudden he's lost the advantage that he's had for so long here. And it's allowed for Ruleth to get a little bit of an advantage. Basically, deathr0w, well, the thing is both players are just going to reset here anyways. They're going to go for power pickups. So nobody really had a huge advantageous position just yet. deathr0w did just spot Ruleth, however. So you could try to utilize that info now to take this next fight. deathr0w still sitting back. Still trying to look for an engagement and jump into it. Connects onto the rail just before that shield goes back up. And now swings around the other direction. Tries to reposition to better take on Ruleth here, but actually messes up a bit and now walks himself into a rail as he is going to get tagged by that. And that deletes most of his armor pool. Not going to matter too much, though, as the spawns are coming up in a second. And as you can very well see, deathr0w is right next to the full armor pickup. Oh, again.
Yeah, he did the right thing getting out of it. I mean, Ruleth popped the shield, so even though he ate that rail, it was just get out of there.
It just turns into a nice little rail skirmish there. Pretty much both players reducing their health pools quite drastically. deathr0w is going to go for this fight, though, on the rockets, but he has the shield available. Tagged on the one. He's got the dot going. That dot is not going to be enough, however, and at the end of the day, Ruleth completes the kill and survives with 20 HP. Finally, two and 3/4 of a minute into the round. We finally see that first kill happen for Ruleth.
Got to be really careful for any machine gun, lightning gun. Still not in good shape. Oh, a little miscalculation there by Ruleth. I think he was expecting to be ambushed, and now he might be a little too late. Now it might cost him. Yep.
He's going to jump up there only to have his armor stolen, and now Ruleth is in a bad position. The rail able to convert the fight a little bit back in his favor as that forces deathr0w back, and now he's just trying to prevent his opponent from swinging freely over towards the mega health pickup there.
That's where that stack, I mean, it really hurt. I mean, deathr0w had him in a good spot if, but if he was on a nick, so he ate one rail on he's like, I got to back off. So little unfortunate for him because Ruleth made an error there and he just wasn't able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, so Ruleth, oh, he tries to do it again. This time it's going to work out a lot better for Ruleth, though, as he is able to move back in. Granted, the armor goes away relatively quickly, but for deathr0w on the other side, he's not looking too hot either with that minimalist health pool. Cannot continue the fight against the clutch, so has to back away from the engagement and reset it for another day here.
Little surprised Ruleth didn't rocket jump after him with the shield up. But that would have been a really aggressive play, don't get me wrong.
Oof. Ruleth, wrong dodge. Unfortunately, pushes himself into a wall. Now he's been tagged again. He has to use the shield, otherwise he would, for certain, almost die there. Did end up being slightly useless, since I think deathr0w bailed out of that fight too. But
good ghost walk here.
now, right behind his opponent, is going to try to push in. Thankfully, Ruleth got the extra speed from the LG, but it's not going to matter anyway, as deathr0w is able to push forward, completing the kill and completing the trade, bringing things down to a 2v2. And it's a good thing he gets this kill too, as there are only 30 seconds remaining in the round. So he should be safe to take it to OT now. We'll have to, aggressively chase down this kill.
He's got a big advantage right now with, Ruleth doesn't have a rocket launcher, so kind of keep that in mind. deathr0w should keep that in mind when he's setting his traps and kind of positioning himself for Ruleth. It's a hole in his arsenal right now.
And there is going to be Ruleth hopping into the fight there, trying to connect onto his first rail. Doesn't hit.
Warning.
We do hit the sudden death marker here.
Oh, that was big. Missed.
Now for deathr0w, knows exactly where Ruleth is. He can move in, has the route to take a jump pad up, and connects his own rail there. So a little bit more damage being done to Ruleth here. And Ruleth trying to continue the fight. He's going to leap into it, but deathr0w knows exactly where he's moving at. And he himself will not choose to continue it. Won't chase him on that stealth. Instead, just uses that to evacuate from the engagement and back away to reset here as the power-up spawns are coming up right now.
I'm surprised he's going to go. Yep, he's going to go right for Mega. I figured he's going to. Oh, he hit the wall.
Still hits the rail though, so it does delete all that extra health. And oh, this is a good trap being sprung now. Look at this. deathr0w extremely low. It's amazing that he dodges that rail right there. And there, finally completes it. It was a rush to the end of the day, but Ruleth wins it as he finally is able to chase down the kill at the end of the round and take his second round, the third round overall so far in this map. We'll go to round number 4 now, where Ruleth has his first chance to complete it and take control of the first map in the set.
Yeah, deathr0w had nowhere to go there at the end. So Ruleth, was going to make sure he wasn't going to miss that second opportunity he had. I mean, deathr0w just wasn't in a good spot after he got hit, and then Ruleth went down aggressively like he should have, and just got finished.
So Ruleth dives into this fight. His opponent will pop up the stealth. He's following his opponent perfectly so far. There's a direct rocket hit and another one for 66 damage to close out on the first kill very quickly. Super aggressive Ruleth here, and it works out great as he gets a very early first kill to give himself an advantage in this map.
Yeah, that's when you're Nyx and you see the clutch pop a shield and you're going ghost walk. It's probably not going to help you too much. I mean, because he can see you, so you're better off just running.
And oh, there we go as well. Quickly into a second kill for Ruleth this time, as now all of a sudden there's this completely renewed aggression. We haven't been seeing this much from so far this entire map here, as he's been doing some great stuff in this round. And look, he might just get the third kill right here too.
He's in control right now, so that's when you want to be aggressive. And oh, look at that deathr0w's toast. He just got tracked right there. I mean, it's a good read. I mean, deathr0w just couldn't fool Ruleth right there. Ruleth was reading him and cutting him off on the map, and it's not much he could do in that position. Once he started getting pinned with the lightning and a sore leg, and he was in a bad spot there. So unless Ruleth chokes, that's basically a guaranteed kill for him. And in similar situation, with the Nyx coming around the corner, rocket launcher to rocket launcher against a stacked clutch versus a Nyx, and then he pops a shield on top of everything else. Desperation ghost walk. The shield can see the ghost walk Nyx, so just follow her around, and then she was in the pit and he's up top of the rocket. It just started off really bad for deathr0w, and you got to give credit to Ruleth for taking advantage of the opportunity and starting off fast. Right, he got the kill, kept the pressure on, got a follow-up kill, and just kept the pressure on. That's what you're supposed to do when you get the ball rolling like that. You really got to keep the pressure on your opponent, suffocate them, make them feel like they can't get anything.
Yeah, that third round only lasts a minute and 6 seconds. So basically, he's getting a kill every 22 seconds. That really aggressive stuff from Ruleth, pressing on the advantage. Didn't have as much of that in previous rounds, but when he got in the third round, he never let up. So really great stuff from him, and he was able to finally lock down that first map. We're going into the second map pretty quickly here, folks. So let's head in game and take a look at the draft here now. Once again, it is Ruleth with the advantage here, as he currently is up 1-0 over his opponent. So if he takes the second map on Blood Run, he is going to be able to win out the series and take control of a qualification slot for the North American Dual Regionals.
Very similar approach, only different Sorlag versus Scale Bearer, but just a variety of champions, a light, medium, and heavier champion. So both going with that kind of variation.
Yeah, and just keeping it nice and even here for Blood Run, as we've seen plenty of times before. There's a lot of other players making very similar choices here. So, like we said before, the colors have changed now. Ruleth is going to be on the right side as your red player, and deathr0w is going to be on the left as your blue player here now, but Ruleth still very much has the advantage, and we should be starting this second map in about 15 seconds here. As soon as that timer ticks down a little bit more, we should be good to jump into it. Players just having a little bit of fun with their warm-ups, and then we can get started here on this classic Quake map.
A little surprised Ruleth didn't stick with Clutch. I mean, it was working so good for him on the previous map. We've seen many people utilize Clutch effectively on ZT Blood Run, before. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he didn't like how the hit scan was working against him with the Clutch, and he went with something maybe a little different.
Yeah, there was a couple times where just SMG spam was really messing him up here, and well, we're gonna get right into the fight actually now. deathr0w with a great spit, doing massive damage over to that Ranger. In fact, the fact that I was about to say, the only reason he's still alive is the fact that he picked up that mega health, but a complete reversal from him allows for Ruleth to actually get the first kill on the Ranger. The rail shot out of nowhere completely spins that round, or that fight, on its heels, and allows for Ruleth to take an early advantage here.
Yeah, deathr0w put a lot of damage on him with the spit and everything, but as you mentioned, Ruleth had both major items. That he came in and grabbed the mega health too. He's really stacked, obviously, and then he was standing in the blood pool, getting some additional heals while he was in that rail battle.
And for deathr0w, trying to jump into this next engagement, but obviously having to be careful on the Nyx now. And we'll back away from the fight for the time being. His opponent is close by. Just have to figure out where exactly he's hiding out at here. And then he can get a full lock onto him. Ruleth now found up on top where the armor does spawn. So deathr0w, good read into the situation, but he's going to get railed, and that stealth just saves his life. I think without that, the rail would have connected onto him, and he would have been a dead man here, giving Ruleth a 2-0 advantage in this first round. Now he can lock him down into this room, try to fight in the open against the Ranger, but just continues to back up against the LG and just gets spammed down by Ruleth there. That's just a HP versus HP fight in that room, and unfortunately on the Nyx, well, deathr0w is not going to be winning that fight.
Yeah, good recognition by Ruleth. I mean, the Ghost Walk, defensively put deathr0w in a really bad spot there, and Ruleth knew it wasn't up. Went right after him in that backlight armor room, and got the kill. It took some damage to do it, but he knew he had the stack advantage.
This little 100+ damage being done with the rockets at range here. Not enough to completely knock Ruleth out of the running, as thankfully he had a lot of armor to play with there still, but deathr0w still trying to hunt down his opponent here. Knows he's in the room, going for the mini armor pickup. Oh, he's whiffing on these rockets big time though, so he's got to back out of here. Trying to go for the pickup, but he just missed the timer, so now he's extremely low actually. deathr0w's in a pretty bad spot. Thankfully he's got this blood pit right outside of the portal, so he can actually passively regen the health while standing in that and get himself back up to 100. We're pretty close to it.
Yeah, Ruleth in a really strong position right now. deathr0w's got to be extremely careful. He's got to get that health and get that armor down. He's got to set a trap somehow, run him into some rockets, a rail, and play shadow games for now. He's up against timer, of course, so he's got to get a frag relatively quick.
There's the engagement he was looking for previously, as he does just spam down his opponent with the LG and then finishes it off with one nice rocket. Even is able to go in. Now he's got both power-ups too. So great stuff from deathr0w, as he is making his best attempt to turn this fight back around. He's got 2 minutes to get this next kill. If he does not get it in that time, Ruleth will still win on the timer, but if he can bring it down to a 1v1, he has the potential to take this into OT. And now look at this, he's got another potential surprise engagement. But no, I don't think he actually spotted the scale bearer sitting behind that pillar there. I thought he did.
A little good job by deathr0w capitalizing on that last frag. Ruleth made an error there. Shouldn't be sitting there at the heavy armor, just standing there. It's just not a good defensive position at all. So good recognition by deathr0w to pin him with the lightning gun and follow it up and get the frag.
Yeah, so for deathr0w here, Continue to sneak forward with an LG engagement, boarding up, trying to board up on top. Doesn't take the teleport, though, and now still stuck down below. Thankfully, inside of that pit, he's got a little bit of help. The charge comes in. It's a big whiff, though, and that allows for deathr0w to complete the second kill. Now he's brought this down to the 1v1, still with plenty of time to spare, and this goes down to the final champion v champion fight to decide the first round.
A little bit of a matador routine from deathr0w there to get the frag. Nice job.
Now he's going to get a lockdown into this fight pretty quickly here. Rockets connecting to each other. And now it looks like Ruleth is trying to trick his opponent with that stuff a little bit. Maybe looking like he may even wanted to dive into that fight. But now he's going to leap into it. And deathr0w with the perfect read. Predicts the pattern, hits the rail shot, and completes the win on round number 1.
Yeah, Ruleth tried to, double back, right? Made some noise going to the stairwell area. Didn't fool him at all. And, I'm just sitting there waiting for the railgun. Really nice read. It's really impressive from deathr0w. You can really, I mean, if you're careful, you should be able to. You can't sneak down the stairs coming out of the portal. So if you listen carefully, it doesn't matter how much he sneaks. He has to come back unless you hear him going down those stairs. So that was a really good read by deathr0w. Those stairs, deathr0w's looking at now. You can't go down those. You can't go down those silently.
So deathr0w ends up backing up a little bit here, now leaping back into the fight too. On top. Trying to lock down the rockets on the ridge just from the low ground. Can't get a whole lot done against Ruleth there. This rail could connect, though. And in fact, his opponent misses his. He's going to get the pickup on the mega health. That does make that next rail negated quite a bit. And Ruleth will back out from that fight, as he knows deathr0w's restored quite a bit of his own HP. deathr0w's even going to make a move here now to try and get himself the armor. So he's tanked up. Granted, it's a Nyx tank, so it's not amazing, considering he's going up against the Ranger from the other side, but still.
Yeah, Ruleth just wants to get a rocket launcher right now. Just got to have one.
Oh, look at this. deathr0w is going to lay the trap. Is Ruleth going to take the bait, though? No, looks like he goes back downstairs for the mega health spawn instead. So, good attempt from deathr0w to line something up here, but it does not pan out. And now he's going to read into him as he jumps out of this portal. LG spam big time. However, deathr0w forced out of the fight. Does see where his opponent's moving. Tries to read into the rail shot. Doesn't happen, though, and Ruleth recovers quite nicely, getting himself the full armor and bringing deathr0w's health pool down extremely low. He's trying to sneak into these rails here, but he's got to be careful. I don't think he can survive another rail hit. No, he can't, obviously.
Yeah, the execution, I mean, deathr0w had a good idea, with setting an ambush, but there was no real motivation for Ruleth to continue up that route with the mega health coming up. So I thought maybe it was a little bit of an error in terms of where the ambush was set up. And then, then he got the mega health, and then it turned into losing the heavy armor to Ruleth as well, and now he's, not in a great spot.
And deathr0w once again saves his own life with a connection there. His opponent's going to leap through the portals. Ruleth tries to go for this commitment. deathr0w's going to take a bit of a risk here. The deathr0w coming up on top, but actually he steals it. They kill each other. deathr0w kills himself. But with that said, they'll still trade it out. Ruleth loses his first character, but so does deathr0w.
Oh man, that was hilarious. It's just I didn't know what was going to happen once I saw the deathr0w coming in. I knew he was going to teleport with the Nyx reappearing. I didn't know. Was somebody going to get a telefrag? Was somebody going to blow themselves up? Well, the other guy up? There's just so many possibilities.
The charge moving in pretty quickly here too, but it doesn't work out. However, Ruleth still able to convert the kill as he was going up against the Nyx from the other side there. So pretty easy job of taking that one down into the low HP, and Ruleth now wants to lock it down. Nice beautiful rocket. Bounce to bounce as he completes the double rocket combo to now trade out the round, taking round number 2 and putting this map at 1-1.
Yeah, important he hit that last rocket because the spit. I think he was down to 11 health. A couple of ticks, 2 or 3 ticks, and he was dead after that. So it was important he finished that off.
Thankfully, he got that bounce at the end there, so had a pretty easy slowdown into getting the last one. Now they're trying to do some work with the nail gun. In fact, he does quite well. Ruleth only ends up with about 50 HP at the very end of it there. But hold on, close-up fight, but it doesn't matter. deathr0w on the normal nail gun. Didn't even get himself the extra one there. It was only working at 10 damage per hit, but he still gets that first kill. Bye-bye to Ruleth's Ranger, and possibly to a scale bear here too if he's not careful. There you go. The second kill now claimed for deathr0w already.
Yeah, mistake by Ruleth, just kind of rushing. I know he wanted the heavy armor. He was probably disappointed after the the mega health, and he didn't want him to get both, but you got to be careful sacrificing a frag like that. I mean, he ran right into nail gun.
Ruleth should be able to finally convert this here, as he's just going to chase down this now very injured Sorlag through the portal.
That was big to get a frag back so early. I mean, within a minute. So he's only down 1, and it's plenty of Quake left in this round. So Ruleth just needs to regroup, and he can easily come back from this. But definitely not a good start for him. He's on his last chance.
Ruleth now trying to bait his opponent into following him. Won't work out too well, however, it just takes actually a few minutes, so it does work out okay. The armor spawn going to come up. It's an easy pickup for Ruleth, as you can just leap right up there. And also, rockets, about 35 damage being done there in that fight. It will push deathr0w back to go and recover a little bit of it there, as obviously on the Nyx, again, health pools are going to be relatively limited for deathr0w and Ruleth, of course. Even the health coming back up, so Ruleth having both of those under his control, I mean, there's nothing stopping him now from being able to jump into the fight against deathr0w. Just has to be able to figure out where he's located so that he can move in, lock down onto his opponent, and try to shut things down here.
Yeah, deathr0w just being defensive in the SNG room. He's getting whatever stack he can. Yeah, he's trying to take no damage. He wants to make sure he gets a clean engagement. Nice LG there.
Pretty much gets rid of all the extra armor and health there, the overcharge, and even some of the normal pull here too. Ruleth's going to try to convert it now. He's popped his own stealth, trying to leap into the kill right behind his opponent. His opponent is going to be able to steal the mega health, giving him a little bit of boost, but there's the bounce. Ruleth now into the fight with the LG, but it's not enough. deathr0w gets the kill there and takes control of round number 3.
Yeah, too visible with the ghost walk. You know, the mist was clearly visible to deathr0w, and he knew he was coming in with the ghost walk. Took a defensive position, and then not to mention the mist time, he was ghost walked while the mega health was popping, so he had no chance to grab it. And the little bit of extra stack, I mean, deathr0w didn't have much left at the end, so that really made the difference.
So 2-1 now here for deathr0w as we go to the 4th round, potentially the final round if we can see deathr0w close it up. And if that's the case, it'll take us over to a 3rd and final map to decide who is going to claim this 2nd out of 8 slots today here for North American Regions qualification. deathr0w, a little bit of a tight spot at first, but he converts great amounts of damage onto Ruleth. The spin into the hall pretty much ensures that he's not going to be following him anytime soon. And allows for deathr0w to make this run to go for a few pickups himself here and recover some of his armor and HP. He's even going to get the mega health. Could get the armor too, but yeah, that was a little bit too far. That great combo from deathr0w though. And now look at Ruleth's HP. He's got like 25, a little over that, and then about 50 armor.
deathr0w's setting nice damage. He wants this kill.
You hear him up top there, so he knows he's there. There's the rail. The rocket not connecting a whole lot of damage back. Unfortunately, didn't have a great follow-up to actually go in and try to complete some more of that damage. He still has Ruleth extremely low. He just can't lock him down currently. Even at this point in time, now that his armor pool's been reduced by quite a bit, he still has about 160 to play off. A bit of a race over here for the armor. Now deathr0w's got himself into a really bad position as a great conversion comes in from Ruleth. He was behind for almost that entire initial minute and 20 seconds, but managed to end up with the first kill, taking down deathr0w's Sorlag.
Good idea from deathr0w, just a little late on it. If he would have taken that, gotten that position, maybe a couple seconds earlier, even 1 second earlier, made a difference. Rocket jumping up to that position would have made the difference there. So if you're going to do something that aggressive, you got to make sure you don't hesitate and you're there fast, because it's, when he got up there late, the rockets were waiting for him. As he rocket jumped up, a lot of damage from Ruleth. Paid the price.
And look at this from Ruleth. He wants to end this in 2 maps quickly, but no, he gets trapped in the corner by the rockets. So it actually does allow for a trade to come out from deathr0w now. He completes that transition, brings us down to a 2v2, and now it's going to be a Nyx versus Scalebearer battle. deathr0w's already recovered all of his health, so he's back up to full HP. He's got to be a little bit careful. This charge can't avoid it. Now down at 19 HP, and Ruleth will complete the trade again. Now he's got the advantage, 2v1.
Oh, nice.
A little bit careful here, actually. Nailgun doing quite a bit of damage. He's already down to about 40 HP. Double pick up here, this will back up to 100, but regardless, that rocket should hold back the Ranger from deathr0w. I guess he's going to give up on this pursuit for the time being. Health coming up in a moment. Oh, direct rocket. Great read from Ruleth, and now he's going to charge and try to complete this. The Dire Orb dodge, though. Nicely done from deathr0w. Now he can go back, gets himself the mega health pickup, restores his own health entirely, and Ruleth again has to bail from that fight, as he also needs to look to recover a little bit here.
Huge slipgate by deathr0w there to avoid the charge and get the mega health. I mean, he really needed that play. That was looking like it was going to be the round finish, so he really got himself out of trouble. Well, now look at him. Now he's got heavy armor.
Yeah, Ruleth should have been able to hear that and probably see it too. So he's going to know his opponent. He clicked up both. He's just trying to sneak off some damage. Nicely done. 60 being done, and that rocket toss there. We're going to lose quite a bit of his armor. And again, oh, the charge
Nice.
right inside. That hits onto him. This might still be a little bit of a tough fight for Ruleth to take, though. He's just trying to get as much damage at range. Ends up at about even HP, though, which is great for Ruleth, considering the advantage deathr0w had. Keep in mind, had both the armor and the mega health. Going this way, misses initial rail, and now taking a lot of LG damage. That armor's enticing. Does he want to go for it? Chooses not to for right now. And again, falls back to wrap around, so the armor will once again go under the control of deathr0w here, as we encroach on the 4-minute mark, which means deathr0w only actually has a minute left to kill Ruleth's skill bear here if Ruleth decides to turtle this fight.
Yeah, I like the weapon selection from deathr0w as Ruleth tried to push out with the lightning, and it really baited him to that stream. It's just, he needs to get a follow-up. He's got a minute left. I think he's probably going to make one more run of these heavy items, and then he's going to go all out.
Yeah, Ruleth.
Now, this is it. This is his chance. He's no holds barred now. He's just got to go after him.
That slip gate was so obvious, though, so Ruleth can line that one up. He's just going to be able to block this off with the rockets. Oh, no, he's actually out of rocket ammo right now, so he's over to the LG, reduced down to that. He's got to continue this fight, though. It's going to be close, but it's looking like Ruleth has a big advantage. deathr0w tries to hide in that corner to get himself a little bit of coverage, but it does not happen, and now Ruleth coming back once again, brings it up to 2-2. It's round 5. It's sudden death to decide who takes the second map.
Round begins.
Yeah, good lightning gun by Ruleth.
3,
Unfortunately, deathr0w
2,
kind of leapt
1.
into the room like that, and it enabled Ruleth to get an early, nice LG stream on him and get a good lead in the encounter. So
Nice rocket damage being done. In fact, this might be a little bit over-aggressive from deathr0w here if he's not careful. Thankfully, he got that armor pickup, so he's still fine, but just want to be a little careful if he try to actually push into the room with that. This is where it's going to get tough, though, as the spit actually comes in, and I believe he got a great connection on that spit, along with the super shotgun damage to allow for deathr0w to get the first kill this time around.
yeah, nice spit, shotgun work. I mean, he hit him point blank. I don't think he missed a single pellet. So it's good work there. A little careless from Ruleth as well. I mean, I know he wanted to charge rocket kill, but you're charging into a Sorlag with acid spit up.
Yeah, it's never a fun time. And the shotgun as well, which we don't see making an appearance too often. When it does at those ranges, that thing can be deadly. So for deathr0w here, he's going to start off by getting tagged in the rails. He tries to go for this next fight. The spit, not really on the mark. Thankfully, relatively short cooldown on that one, though, and he can get it back up pretty quickly. However, he's going to jump into this next fight. A lot of LG damage being done, and the patience with the rocket trade out there as he follows it up with a nice shot. Already up now, 3v1, just over a minute into the 5th and final round. Ruleth has the odds set against him here. He may have to just look at a third map at this point.
Yeah, he's he can make a comeback. There's plenty of time, but he's not playing necessarily sharp right now. deathr0w's been playing the better Quake in terms of more recently in the round. So he's got to switch it around a little bit and lay some better traps and not be read so easily. deathr0w's been really laying some damage on him. He's got to be a little more careful about going for heavy items. And just can't. I've mentioned many times you can't just go in there nonchalant. Nice rails.
deathr0w just tunnel visioned himself there a little bit too, so that's a bit problematic. Unfortunately, Ruleth is going to let him stand in the blood pit down below, so deathr0w can just camp here all day. Now his opponent's going to jump in, so he jumps into the portal, but he follows him through, the spit onto the floor. Ruleth's going to chase that, though, since he has the stealth back up, and he wants to complete this kill, but can deathr0w get it anyway? Over to the rail! What is this reversal? Oh my goodness! Ruleth just barely saves himself there. Had the advantage for most of that fight, but then lost an advantage at the end, and now he's got to be careful. He's into this next fight, only 10 HP. Thankfully, deathr0w falls down below. He's not safe just yet. Ruleth has to find a place to hide here. He's still 20 seconds away from his ability from being up as well, so there is no escape in its current form, and finally he goes down to deathr0w as he will claim control over this second map, 3-2.
Good comeback from deathr0w. He obviously needed that to keep himself in the match here and go to a third map. Ruleth needs to really regroup. Some of his decision making, I think, off the spawn points, a little too aggressive, maybe a miscalculation in regard to how much stack deathr0w had left. It worked out a few times for him where he was able to rush, use his ability, and come in with some rockets or some quick damage right away, and didn't allow deathr0w to get comfortable with control. But it really backfired on him in that last round or so.
So third and final map should be coming up in a moment here. As it was looking like Ruleth wanted to try and recover towards the end there, but just couldn't get the job done. So he ends up dropping map number 2. And now let's take a look and see what the selection of our next map is. Our admins asked for it. It's up to Ruleth as the losing player. And let's see. Corrupted Keeps. We are going to go to this tiny little map here now to duel it out for our third and final encounter. Let's take a look and see if any of the champion selections are going to change up here now, going into this third and final map.
Again, I'd be surprised. You got to have heavies here. Really surprised. Scale Bear,
Prepare for
Clutch,
draft.
Sorlag. They're going to definitely make an appearance on both sides.
So far, actually sticking with their normal rosters. Ranger, Nyx. Here's a chance for Ruleth to try and change it up a little bit if he wants to. He's thinking about it. There we go. There's the Scale Bearer selection. So he goes for that, and he's got his next pick too coming up here in a moment. So is he going to stick with the normal lineup of like the two normal? Yeah, he's actually going to go for the Ranger Nyx combo along with the Scale Bearer there. Pretty much the same for deathr0w as he just chooses the Sorlag over the Scale Bearer. So things remaining relatively the same from the previous map. There are not actually a whole lot of change-ups coming into the fray.
Again, Ruleth staying away from Clutch, which worked well for him a lot of the time on Blood Covenant in the first map. So I'm a little surprised he went away from it, especially Clutch is really effective on this map. So it's a little surprising because it worked well for him, and he got the win. So seeing him not go back to it at all, I just find it a little puzzling. I wonder if it's just map. This is what he's comfortable with on this map, or if there's some other reason for it.
Why I'm winning, because I planned it that way.
Over towards it. Ruleth may be feeling confident because he has been winning a lot of those kind of close-up battles there. He's been getting a lot of nice reversals when things have been fought in relatively close quarters. This may be why he's chosen to go over to the smaller map where those kinds of fights are going to be much more likely to happen. So we're jumping into it here now, and this is it. Third and final map. There's a qualification slot on the line for North American Regionals, so one player is going to get a nice trip. The other one, well, they'll still have an attempt at it next week, but they're not going to get it right now. So let's take a look and see if it is going to be Ruleth who started off with the map 1 advantage, crushed it over on Blood Covenant, or will it be deathr0w who claimed our second map on Blood Run just a few moments back here as we go to Corrupted Keep for the third final encounter. Ruleth starting it off a little bit passively here, finds some damage to tag onto, nothing huge. Same for deathr0w as he's back, but it does start off in the Nyx v Nyx fight, so we are going to be very squishy on both players right at the beginning of this round here. And Ruleth actually just gives up the health. He could get up the armor too. This is a pretty big miscalculation by him all of a sudden.
Well, initially he needed a rocket launcher, so deathr0w was doing rocket denial. So Ruleth took the opportunity. He's waited for him to go for the mega health before he went for the rocket launcher, which of course delayed his route to the heavy armor as well. But I mean, at that point, I think you kind of do need to make some sacrifice. I mean, it's Nyx versus Nyx. deathr0w's not going to get that much of a stack anyway. So I'd be more concerned about getting my arsenal at this point. I mean, a couple rockets and deathr0w's not going to have anything anyway.
Well, Ruleth still trying to anticipate a teleport jump from deathr0w there. Incorrect about it, but with the spawns being split a little bit here and there we go. Direct rocket hit from Ruleth though is great, as he needs that to convert this fight against deathr0w since he's at such a disadvantage. But deathr0w, he just pops his stealth too. However, his opponent's going to leap back up on top of the jump pad. That's dangerous. Thankfully, deathr0w hit a pretty good rocket himself, but Ruleth over to these health pickups. He's going to remain safe, and deathr0w, well, he completely bails out from that fight looking for the armor pickup in a moment. But hold on, he swung back into the room at the last second. Now he's actually going to hand Ruleth potentially both these pickups, but no, Ruleth wants the kill. He's going to try to continue the battle, but can't do it. deathr0w again backs out from the fight and ends up just in the open here, where they are going to have to go up against each other, and the rockets all over the place. No one can find a connection. In fact, Ruleth does completely run out of rockets, so he's got to head back over here to the rocket room to pick those back up. Missed the pickup, actually. He didn't even realize it until he had already crossed the room. So now he has to go back. I don't think deathr0w really ran into that one, though, as he's sitting way over by the LG spawn. So he's going to be detached from this one, just trying to reposition himself, trying to go back into it, but eventually runs into the rocket from Ruleth, and he'll get the first kill.
Yeah, I don't think deathr0w had a good handle on when that mega health was up. I mean, he had an opportunity to establish kind of position and maybe keep Ruleth out of there with some defensive rockets, but I don't think he really knew exactly when it was up there. It seemed like Ruleth had a much better idea. I mean, he went in there and grabbed it and just caught deathr0w trying to charge into the area. I mean, he just ran him with some rockets. Well,
deathr0w's second character here is going to be a much tankier arsenal. Nice pop of the stealth, too. Completely whiffed on the spit there from deathr0w as a result of that pop, and now it's a quick follow-up. Even against the Sorlag with that massive HP, Ruleth was able to take on deathr0w right in the open. deathr0w probably never even got himself a really good arsenal built up or anything like that, so it was really good advantage there, and he struck quickly to be able to take advantage of that one. And now, though, the Ranger spawn is a lot better for deathr0w. He does get rockets this time. He does get more prepared, and I think he even hits the first shot that time on the fight, so he finally converts it back. And Ruleth is onto his Scale Bearer now as his second character. And oh, almost a direct rocket hit from deathr0w there. 91 damage out of 100. And oh, deathr0w hopefully doesn't disconnect. There we go. Oh, true stream, but I think it's back to normal now, so they should be good to continue the fight. deathr0w again now. Back up over here in middle. He's trying to lock down where Ruleth is and just prevent Ruleth from getting these very important pickups here. But there's the charge and the port right past it. Dodges the jump, but oh, the spin around from Ruleth. And he is able to complete it there, getting the final kill against the Ranger.
Yeah, deathr0w, good idea. Just didn't execute his slip gate in time, and he ate the charge damage before he actually. Yeah, he did. He got the damage off before he teleported. So that was pretty much just pretty pivotal, and it really won Ruleth the fight. If he was slip gated just a half second earlier, he probably avoids that damage and maybe comes up the victor there.
Well, nicely played from Ruleth. Gets the job done on the scale bearer, of course. You'll note the different choice of an initial champion this time from deathr0w. Instead of just going right for the Nyx v Nyx fight, he is going to go over to the Sorlag first in order to have a little bit more health for this. It may not help him out, though. The spit, thankfully, might have just saved his life, but no. Ruleth able to get the kill, and he survives it with plenty of extra HP, as Ruleth is able to dive into self, making himself immune to damage and preventing that dot from taking out the remainder of his HP.
Good patience from Ruleth. You know, got a little hairy there. It was getting a little low, but he felt he had the advantage, got the kill, and then ghost walked to to kill the dot after.
Nicely done from Ruleth there, locking down his second character now, but oh no, loses track of deathr0w, so deathr0w is allowed to turn that fight back on its heels with a super shotgun. Nicely played from deathr0w, just backs into that corner. Unfortunately for Ruleth, he was not expecting that, so now it is deathr0w that gets the second trade kill, but deathr0w is not safe just yet. He is still stuck in the boneyards right now. He'll make a move outside. He does not have a good lock as to where that Mega Health spawn was about to move in, or just didn't want to take the fight for it, so heads to the other side of the map into the green room, where he does have the armor spawn for himself, and he can pick that up at the very least. Rock is well.
Be careful. And just had no rocket launcher. Oh, you can read that. You really should have just seen that. Oh, that was bad read good play by deathr0w, but a poor read by Ruleth. I mean, one, you can hear the teleporter, and on top of that, you can see the mist as he came through. So Ruleth should have been ready for him to be like right on his tail. I mean, that was kind of fairly obvious if he was going to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, great stuff from deathr0w, regardless of the outcome there with Ruleth kind of losing track of it. But deathr0w was making it very hard for himself to get tracked down in the first place. So really great movement overall from deathr0w to be able to make that one happen. And now he brings it back and has the advantage here for round 2. Just needs to close out. There's another good rocket. 75 damage, and oh no! Ruleth got launched off the map and killed himself. So round 2 ends on an out-of-map kill.
Stopwatch.
And deathr0w will take the second map.
Round begins.
Or excuse me, the second round.
3, 2, 1.
Just got launched off the side there. That was good stuff.
Now I'm a little bit curious because I wasn't actually watching that from Ruleth's perspective, but
No, he just caught the edge there, and he slipped off, and he couldn't pick himself up, and yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I was curious as to why he got ruled as suicide instead of a ring out kill there. So I just wanted to know how Ruleth messed it up, since it seemed like he had a chance to save himself, but apparently not the best chance, as he still does fall off the map. And deathr0w.
I think he was just at the very edge, and he might have hit back or the wrong strafe key just a little bit, and bye bye.
Not like
kind
this.
Yeah, he kind of slid off in slow motion too.
So Ruleth will have to suffice with that slight embarrassment there, ending the second round. Hopefully he can recover nicely going into round number 3. Starting things off again, it is going to be the Sorlag v Nyx fight, and Sorlag gets the early spawn onto Ruleth, trying to lock him down as he leaps into the fight. Good 53 damage being done, but once again, also countered out by Ruleth. Going into his stealth, he is able to avoid most of that damage. Back up over to the green room, where the arm is going to pop up in a second, and oh no, actually, beautifully done by deathr0w. Leaps into the fight, bounces his opponent over top of the armor spawn, steals it, and then kills him with a mid-air rocket hit. Nicely done by deathr0w.
Yeah, Ruleth got a little antsy there, and he decided to leave, and then he's like, oh no, the armor just spawned, and then he went back for it. If he would have been a little less antsy and just kind of waited right till it spawned and ran, he would have been okay.
And there's the, oh my god, deathr0w just denying Ruleth at every single turn. Once again, moving in. I don't think he actually successfully stole the power up that time. I don't know if the charge damage just got rid of it that quickly. So, this should be the end of it right here, and there you go. deathr0w closing out with 2 very fantastic kills in round number 3. He is going to be able to take it 2-1, so he has this great advantage. Only one more round to go now, and he'll be able to take this series.
Big turnaround. Ruleth really needs to regroup. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, deathr0w's, putting some pressure on him, and he's also, making some bad reads, and I don't know if that's a result of, he's nervous. the pressure deathr0w is putting on him, a combination of both, or maybe just not, mentally just not feeling so sharp today. Didn't get his Wheaties this morning. Whatever it may be, he's got to shape it up.
So deathr0w ends up in a very passive fight here now. Does not want to leap in against the Nyx just yet. Now he's got the opportunity to do so the stealth pop. He's trying to read into where he went. Can't find it just yet, though, so ends up on the low ground here for the next fight. As he does back away, wanting the armor pickup. He still has that little bit of excess health, so he can tank himself up quite nicely. And then just let the Nyx get the mega health, which isn't that big of a boon. The armor would probably help out the Nyx a lot better at this point, so it is better for deathr0w to swing over there and steal that one away. Now trying to take the fight. The Smith's a little bit messy, so not going to hit as well as he would have liked. He still has a good track on a Ruleth, just can't hit any of these opening shots. So Ruleth is allowed to just continuously run away from this engagement here. Now up on top, and oh, that LG perfectly positioned pushes deathr0w into a corner. This could be the conversion, but no! deathr0w's final rocket saves the day, and he does take down Ruleth's first champion.
A little surprised Ruleth didn't just pop his ghost walk after that initial pin. I mean, he really did so much damage to him. I mean, why not just come in free and clear and then land, a follow-up rocket to finish the deal? But I think he was just confident he had him low enough he didn't need to waste it in that situation.
Charge damage connecting on a deathr0w there, but he does get pushed back moments later. And he took a lot of damage from that previous fight, so it's a simple LG follow-up to allow deathr0w to get the second kill. And it seems like he is indeed in full control of this matchup now, based on the way that we saw the previous round go. And now here on round 4, this is looking rough for Ruleth. He's lost all traction from previous maps and from previous rounds. As you remember, he did actually win the first round. So now it's up to Ruleth here to try and reverse this 1v3, and deathr0w wants to end it right now, jumping into the fight, less than 25 HP,
Nice.
and he's going to do it. deathr0w with a 3-0 run wins out the final round, and he takes control of map number 3 with a final score of 3-1, and will take the series overall 2-1 as well.